This is the first time. There's layers to what I'm about to say. This is the first time where, like, consciously I've been willing to accept that I have no clue what my life looks like in a year. Like, no clue. Especially the where, but honestly, like many other variables. I know the important things, the why, like the purpose, and the how, the what, the RE, the finer living, but no clue where. And that a couple years ago would have terrified me. But at the same time, like the things that I knew were the things that brought me the most stress because I thought I knew what my life looked like and was
Mhm.
going to look like forever. And then there was the delta between what I thought and what was actually happening, and that's what caused me the stress. And now it's like I have no clue what my life is going to look like in a couple years. So it's like I'm not beholden to some expectation that I set, or even worse, society set for me, like decades ago or before my birth, even. Now it's just like, yeah, I mean, there's no better time than now. The world is like so, hmm, I guess flexible, like pick your path. Excited to see which one I end up on.
I love that you use the word flexible to describe the world right now. Um,
Mm, mm-hmm,
there were a lot of adjectives that went through my Rolodex. Flexible wasn't
mm-hmm.
one of them,
Me
and I
too.
think that that's yeah. The pause was palpable.
Mm-hmm,
Um, but the world is so flexible. I made a reel about this yesterday.
mm,
Yeah, that that we're in this, if we bring it out from just us, right? If we bring it to that like societal level, human consciousness, human beings right now, that it's like we really are at this kind of like, okay, so what's it going to be? Right?
yeah,
Like, because the old stuff, the stuff, again, if we literally take what you just said about your own life, because everything's a mirror, right? And if you
mm,
just take that away from Kian's timeline and put it on the human timeline, where it's like, well, the stuff that before birth, you know, that society was like, this is how it's going to be, that has been, the veils have been lifting, the things have been being shaken for a while now. And we're kind of at this spot where it's just like a lot of things that we thought were, aren't. A lot of paths that we thought we were on have dissolved. And there's a period for a lot of people where that's really scary, and that makes sense, right? But then it's also like, okay, but you're collectively, we're at this space where it's like, well, if the things that you thought existed don't exist, and the things that you thought you had to do aren't actually things that you have to do, what are we going to do with that? How are we going to be flexible with this? And for a lot of people, that is terrifying, right? And obviously the people that have, you know there's power and there's money and there's a lot of systems at play, even as the systems are kind of shifting. But we really are at the spot of just being like, okay, what path are we going to choose? And there's a really, really, really beautiful path that we can all take, but it takes all of us taking it, right? But that's literally, it's also like it has to happen in each individual. So, like you and me being like, well, I'm going to do what lights me up and do the inner work and go on this journey and then try to help people and do whatever that is, that it's like, okay, that's part of that building of like the flexibility of that different future. It's all connected. It's beautiful.
there are infinite paths before us right now.
Mhm.
And now I'm like I'm seeing why it is. I mean, I believe that like at a soul level we choose when we come, where we come, why we come.
Right.
um
Yeah, sometimes it's a conversation, but for the most part we get to choose.
okay. Oh god. That was so not intentional
I
that
know,
I'm
but
aware of, but that was so good. Yes, So I know that we're talking about something really important, but I'm gonna talk about where I'm
You just completely derailed this conversation. It's like what it really comes down to for me is like, where are you planting your seed?
gonna. Oh God.
Oh, we bring it
What
into
I
some
was
like Aubrey
intending.
Marcus thing, not to name drop. Okay,
we're,
anyway,
we're
but yes,
getting we're getting very Freudian. No,
we
the
incarnate for a
direction.
very real purpose.
Like we're literally just here to procreate. F
You
all
know,
that noise.
I mean, it can. The metaphors connect, right? Because it's like, well,
They
you
do.
do kind of show up. It's it all of it. You choose when you
Yeah.
come, and through that, then you're actually like, that's the moment that I'm
Wow.
being conceived.
See, I could not even fathom the level of layers to that statement. At a soul level beyond the physical seed and incarnation version of coming, I think we do choose when we come, and like, what better time than now?
What
Truthfully,
better time to
truthfully,
know?
what
What can I
better time
tell
than
you?
now? Like right now, we are about to witness the craziest. I mean, I like that you said shift. I noticed the pause. I was thinking collapse. Shift is a bit more optimistic, but the craziest transfer of like, I mean, I want to say power, I want to say wealth, I want to say all of the things. Truthfully, everything. Like everything is about to change.
He's gotta
Because
go.
the truth came out, the age of Aquarius, and like what better time to be an Aquarius as well, like pop off. The
Just gonna
truth came
drop that.
out. Mic drop. The truth is out, and it's like no longer. It's almost a relief now for like all of the, I guess, conspiracy theorists out there that have been like aware of these truths for like decades or longer,
Mhm.
to where now everyone's like, oh my God, like this is crazy. And we're just like, we've been new. So, like, what is very jarring for a lot of people is just like now a relief in some ways to us all wager, where it's like, okay, well now not everyone thinks I'm crazy, and like now from here, okay, we can see that we are not the enemy. My neighbor, my uncle, whoever it is, we're like, sure, on the like political line, we're probably still in the different spot, but now they're probably gonna realize the horseshoe theory is correct, and that like no matter who's president, they're not on your team, because the
They've always
president
hated you.
the president's a puppet. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, and like
right,
I don't want to make it political, but like it's the same people behind the president, behind the wars, behind both sides.
right.
And so
And
from
the
here, it's like,
reason, sorry,
no,
no,
go,
it's
go.
like the reason that your political team has never actually made any progress is because there's progress, whatever it is that you think that they should be, is because literally it would not serve them
Yeah,
to like their whole power exists in the battle, in the struggle. And so if they actually advance the agenda that they say that they're going to advance, it's like, well, now they've just lost all of their power. Like,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's a sports game, and everybody's just screaming for their team to win. And it's like, well, there's no one's actually playing the game. They're playing their own game. They're just pretending that it's, yeah. Anyway, sorry, you were saying.
No, I mean, I was just gonna keep rambling. That and there's like, yeah, I mean, all of the people in power, the like puppet figures, there's like blackmail beyond what I could even imagine. Because like I kind of knew that there were like people behind the scenes, but I had never really gone that deep down the rabbit holes of like what
Mhm.
they were actually doing, like the heinous diabolical things specifically as it pertains to like children. And now I'm just like, yeah, I mean, it had to go already, but now it's like, okay, like this is, it's time. It's time. And it's time or like I mean, that's the thing. Where the reason or part of the reason I think that this time is so, I guess, maybe exciting isn't the right word, but like transformational is that it's either it's going to be really good or it's going to be really bad. And like really bad could just be it ending. Like I don't want to get dark, but like that's
And it's
that's
gotta
a
go.
route.
It's not
Yeah,
gonna be fun
but
to live that if that's the way
yeah.
that it goes, but it's just like,
Yeah.
okay, we are a cancer. If we can't heal this,
Mhm.
we gotta go. Like,
I remember when I originally like with my whole I guess indoctrination where I was like, okay, I'm gonna do engineering and then I'm gonna work in sustainability and I'm gonna end climate change and I'm gonna save the planet, like that whole path. Uh, yeah, I mean, there's actually a voluntary human extinction movement. I remember coming across that where it's like we just stop, just stop coming. Stop coming.
stop it. Just stop.
Just stop
No.
it.
I
I
mean,
obviously that's never gonna happen because that's counter to our human nature. But at a deeper level, like I think that we could kind of extinct ourselves. I know that's not the right grammar right there, but that's a super feasible reality right now.
I mean, one, yes, we could literally just like end ourselves in a very dramatic and painful way. Obviously, that's a very real possibility. And there's something like a lot of people are choosing not to make more people. That's a very
Yeah,
real decision that's being
it's
made by
true.
millions of people in a bunch of society. I mean, look at the birth rate of Japan and Korea. And Japan and Korea is less maybe lack of desire to have children and more the fact that it's literally like they don't have time because they work 80 hours a week and they have
Yeah.
some stuff that they need to work on as a society. But it's just like, a lot of people are like, why would I bring a child into this world?
Yeah.
And or, there's I hmm, I want to say this delicately because it's like there is no right or wrong, right? But in a lot of hmm, a lot of beings that have incarnated and are towards the end of their incarnation of their like life cycles apparently will choose not to have children if you are like a
Hmm.
highly evolved soul that's like pretty much ready to just be done.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently that's a path that a lot of those beings will take because it's just kind of like, what, I'm here to kind of do the work and there's like a grander mission. And to be clear, having children is an incredibly grand mission, especially when
Yeah.
it's taken with the love and the care of being like, I am bringing this soul into the world and really nurturing them and fostering them and recognizing that like you're a steward of that human's life path, right? Which is
Yeah.
what parenting should be. um but yeah, like, and obviously there's a lot of people that are just like, I don't want to have kids because I can't afford it or because I don't want to or whatever. And I think that it's a sign of consciousness shift that a lot of people are like, you know what, this one's actually for me and I've
Yeah.
got work to do, and recognizing ancestral trauma and recognizing like so many things beyond themselves of being like, yeah, no, this line is done. Um and, I think if slash when we end up taking the path collectively of shifting things to a better, more harmonious place, right? Then it's like, okay, that's actually, you create a world where you want to bring more souls in, where you actually
Yeah.
are creating community and sustainability and all of that. And it's like, okay, cool. Then maybe some of those beings come back and they're like, yeah, now this is a worthy environment, right? To like bring a human into. Um, but we've got to make that.
Gotta make it.
Yeah.
Here we are.
It's mm, should we allow this to end or should I open up another
Your call. I'm always down for more.
So, one of the things that you said a few minutes ago, right, where you're just like talking about all of the stuff that is finally being brought to light that, some people have been aware of, call them conspiracy theorists or whatever you want, that people have known for years, and that the rest of society was like, that's not a thing. And now it's like, oh no, there's literal documents, like there's literal evidence, it is a thing. Um, it's been really interesting, going back to what I was saying way at the start of just kind of being like the things that but you can't explain, or the things that you can't talk to other people about because you don't really like have the words for, but in your heart and soul to be true. Like, in the last few years, I have befriended some people. I almost said beings, because like some of them are
Hmm.
actually, they're evolved beyond a spot, they're just kind of like almost
Yeah.
like entities at this point. Um, but I have a few friends who are kind of so deep down their own paths that it's really hard for them to interface with other human beings. Where like they spend a lot of time kind of in isolation, and they're doing a lot of like deep inner work, but also kind of like work for the collective, but it's just like
Grid
within
work.
themselves. And a
Hmm.
lot of them for years have been talking about, ooh, and I want to be really careful with how I share this because
Hmm.
they don't share it. But I
Yeah.
know that I'm allowed, like what I'm saying, I know I'm allowed to say. But basically, and these are like different people that don't know each other.
Yeah.
But in certain conversations that we'd had, where they would basically be like, some of the stuff that they were uncovering, be that in just their own meditative spaces, places that they were going to, or things that they were reading or seeing, but the level of darkness and corruption, especially when it comes to children, and how children are
Hmm.
being treated, and the terrible, terrible things that are happening. And these friends of mine, they're like, they're just like, this is where the darkness and the eventual maybe light comes from, but they have been
Yeah.
so aware of it for so long and hardly spoke of it. Talking to me about it, they're like, they kind of were like, I know that you can understand and hold
Yeah.
some of this, but it's just, and I've always believed them, but also knew that like going down the paths that they were going down wasn't my journey, right? But it's
Journey.
just kind
Yeah.
of like, okay, hearing some of this stuff 3 4 years ago from somebody who's like, they're not like a YouTuber with the they're just someone who's like
Yeah.
living in a hut somewhere, being like, I see the darkness of humanity, and I'm seeing all of these layers. And so for me to just kind of be sitting back being like, okay, that's like the root of so much of this. And then having all of it, I don't know, like, it's just really terrible and fascinating watching so much of the stuff that like you have known or seen or heard about or whatever it is, and just kind of been like, okay, I kind of see how these things are coming together. And then getting to the spot in the timeline where it's like, oh yeah, all
Hmm.
of it is, and
It's
then
coming to
recognizing,
light.
yeah, being like, in part of, like you were saying before, that it's like, as a lot of people are now starting to realize this. And when you're one of the people, and not even just in the corruption scene, right? Just in the kind of like everything needs to fall idea, and that everything's kind of broken and manufactured and all of that. But it's like, part of the role now of being somebody who has been doing a lot of this work, thinking about a lot of this stuff for a lot of years, is that it's like, okay, so now you and I have understood this. We've integrated it. We've done the inner work on ourselves to just like, it's all connected, right? And now it's like, okay, as the rest of the world is starting to be like, wait a second, that part of the role that we have is to be like, yeah, 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 we're here, we've got you, right? Like, we can kind of help you
Shine our
really.
light.
Yeah. But it's just, I don't know. It's wild. The stuff that it's just like, I couldn't have spoken to it. I couldn't have put logic to it, but it's all the stuff that, like, for years, you're just kind of sitting there being like, uh huh. Yeah,
Hmm.
I think that's, uh huh. And then it just kind of like lands in the real world. It's like, okay, well, There's that.
Now it's this mirror too, where it's like, as you were saying, like we this is reflecting humanity beyond any individual or collective, like humanity's deepest darkness, like core depravity. Um, and so it's this mirror where it's like we have to look inward first. Like each person has to look inward and not necessarily conquer our darkness, but come to terms with it, you know? Because as soon as you're aware of your shadow, it just becomes a part of you. It's not something that controls you without you knowing. Because it is. It's just the shadow. It's the reflection of the light. Um, and so like the more that we as individuals can navigate that darkness and share the darkness and the light, they coincide, the more that other people can reflect on their own, and it's just like, yeah, thoughts and prayers, this beautiful butterfly effect.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's the integration of that shadow, right? That is really, really hard for so many people and societally. It's like seeing it and just being like if the darkness that lives in society, it's also because it lives within us.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe not to the same levels, right? Like, of course, and when I say that, it's like you and I would never do the things that that there are some beings that they would do the things, right? And have done the things. And there is this like, okay, but the phony holy thing that I think a
Mm-hmm.
lot of like spiritual community, a lot of religious communities where it's just like
Yeah.
we're all going to just be the perfect version and we don't have any of that. And then it's like, well, okay, how come all of your priests are abusers? How come
Yeah.
all of your, like the people that hate gay people are secretly on Grinder? How come, it's just like so we need to recognize that everybody is
Uh-huh.
trying to pretend that they are fitting into this mold of what we've decided
Yeah.
is what is supposed to be. And every single person is doing that while pushing away whatever their version of darkness is. And
Mm.
it's like, no, you can be all of it. But when we try to push things into the shadows, that's when they become monsters, right? Like a monster's only a monster when you can't see it and it's allowed to operate out of sight. When it's like, no, like
Yeah.
you can just, and again, I mean, this is, I want to be clear that I'm not talking about harming people, depraved, terrible, awful
Yeah.
things, that it's not like, oh, you just need to talk about that and then you're allowed to, like, like that is not what I'm saying. Yeah, but it's that recognition. And I think that's something that I've really come, that's been a really hard part of my personal journey is allowing allowing the shadowy parts of me to be seen more and recognizing that that's actually a major part of my purpose on this earth because like
Mm-hmm.
I do present as a very like shiny sparkly literally bouncy like
Mm-hmm.
person and there is all of that other underworldy, darky, whatever. And it makes a lot of people really uncomfortable when they're like, but you seem so happy. And I'm like, uh-huh, you know? And right. But being able to be like, no, like I have to be all of these things. If you can't handle the fact that I am all of these things, that's on you. But
Yeah.
part of, yeah, part of like allowing other people to be all of those things is allowing myself to be all of them as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're breaking the mold. The
Breaking the
world is
mold.
flexible right now. A new path will be chosen. I'm excited to see which one it is.
Yeah, me too.
And once again, as always, grateful to be on the path with you.
Yeah, me too, buddy. Always fun.
Love you, Indy.
I love you so much.
Talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.